morning, Joe Deary, Powerful Improvements, Putnam, Connecticut. It's a beautiful March day today, and I'm out here to take care of some details on the truck. Still a little too cold to wash. We get down to like 18 degrees at night, and I really don't feel like defrosting and winterizing my truck every single day. So I'm gonna wait about one more week before we actually start washing. We're looking at some 50-degree days next week, and that's when we're gonna really get things kicked off. But in the meantime, I've had a lot of questions about M5Twist and Xjet, and I want to clarify a little bit of the difference between those two nozzles, because they are not the same, and I'm going to show you what we got going. All right, I'm assuming if you're following my channel that you are currently power washing or thinking about power washing, and you probably have some of the basics down. So if you've ever used a power washer before, you know that your power washer comes with this set of 5 nozzles typically, okay? And they're all different. Everything's got a different size orifice on it because they do different things, okay? This black nozzle is gonna be your Chem Nozzle, and it draws chemical out of your chemical tank. And the reason it does that is because it's got such a big orifice on it. So it draws at very low pressure, okay? Low pressure is what's gonna draw chemical out of your downstream injector. Okay, that little thing with a hose on it right there is your downstream injector, and that goes into your chemical tank in the back, okay? And that will draw chemical through your power washer hose when you're drawing with low pressure, with a big orifice, okay? And then if you switch over to any one of these other nozzles, which all have a small orifice, okay? Let's see if you can even see through that one. It no longer draws chemical, okay? Each one of these is small, no chemical. Turns your soap off. Okay, so that's how you're turning your soap on and off at your gun without coming back and forth and pulling your drop stick. You're simply switching between nozzles. Okay, now this one obviously, because it's a fan, isn't going to put chemical up very high, and that's where professional power washers like ourselves come in with our fancy tools so that we can put things up a little bit higher. So one of the ways you do that is with a J-rod, okay? So this J-rod shooter tip here, again, you see has a large orifice on it, okay? And that one will draw chemical. This other one is your 2-story rinser. You see it has a very small orifice, and that one does not draw chemical. So you can shoot chemical high with this one, switch over and rinse your chemical, rinse your soap with that one. Same thing with the fans. Turn this thing around. You can see we've got a large orifice fan there, much like that black chemical tip. That one will draw soap. Then you switch over to this one with a small orifice fan, and the soap turns off. So no need for a remote control or to come back and forth to the truck. You can do this standing right there. Soap, no soap. Simple. A lot of guys like to use this blue tip here, okay? This is strictly a soaper, unless you're gonna come back to the truck and pull your drop stick and turn your soap off. Again, big orifice on that one. Okay, so we understand the orifice thing now, right? Right. So this nozzle right here is called the M5Twist. This is not an Xjet. This is the M5Twist. It looks like an Xjet, but it's not an Xjet. This is the Xjet. The Xjet has a barb on it, which, like your downstream injector, gets hooked to a hose that goes to your chemical bucket, and that will draw chemical. The body of these is where the difference is. This twist part is the same. This body is not the same, okay? This body has a very large orifice in it. Got this already opened up, I think. And let's see if we can find the light. Actually, we cannot. Let me see if I get this open all the way. Had some crud in it, that's why. But you can see that's a big hole. That's a big orifice. So this M5Twist is a soaper nozzle, okay? And then this little fluted fan thing on the end adjusts, okay? And that makes a fan, and you open it up and it shoots out a needle and it draws chemical the entire time, unless you come back to the truck and turn the chemical off by pulling your drop stick or turning the valve on your bypass or whatever you're going to do. So that's a soaper nozzle or a nice rinse nozzle. The Xjet body is different inside. The internals are different inside here. If you look through here, much smaller hole, okay? So this one will not draw soap through your downstream chemical injector. It will only draw soap if you attach a hose to this barb and run it to a bucket. This one also adjusts fan to needle and will not draw soap the whole time. So what I discovered last year is I really like to soap with this, and then when I'm on the back side of the house, nowhere near the truck, whatever it is, I don't need a remote, I don't need to come back and forth to the truck, I take this nozzle off, put this one on, and I can rinse. It turns the soap of the downstream injector off because it operates at a higher pressure. Never having a hose on here, okay? I don't use this at all. This is just there for looks, okay? I could probably take it off. But that's how I do it. This is soap, this is rinse, okay? Simple. And that's how I get it done without going back and forth to the truck all day, okay? Now, what I'm probably gonna do this year is maybe add a remote control to shut my soap off, because I'd like to use the M5 more as a rinser, but that's gonna be another video for another time. These are for the guys that want to understand the concept and the difference between the M5 and the Xjet, okay? This is called the M5Twist, and this is called the Xjet M5. And the reason it's called the M5 is because of this adjustable tip right here, okay? The original Xjet did not have this, and you just put a J-rod on the end or something different on the end. Okay, it was just the body. Soaper tip, rinse tip. All right? You guys have a good day. I hope this was helpful in some manner to anybody that's trying to understand the difference. All right, and you guys enjoy the rest of your week.